What is up, everyone? So today, in collaboration with Slate Digital, I'm gonna give you 5 metal vocal mixing tips that I use on a daily basis. Now, I'm not gonna go super into detail about absolutely everything on mixing vocals, but I'm gonna give you some tips and tricks that you can apply to your own stuff that will hopefully inspire you or, help you out. For this video, I'll be using my vocal tracks from my latest cover from Skyrim, Age of Aggression and Oppression. I recorded all my vocals through the ML-1 microphone here that can basically emulate any expensive tube microphone I want, which is super cool. Number 1, saturation. For the vocal track, I used the FG251 from the classic tubes collection that comes with the ML-1 when you buy it. I have the intensity set to 110 to get a little bit more of the character from the 251. It's going through the FG stress compressor and into the FGS equalizer. Now let's hear how that sounds by itself. The killer of kings. On the day of your death we will drink and we'll sing. The FG251 has such a nice crispy high end that I love in my vocals, but I also want a little bit more power. So we're gonna pull in the London from the Virtual Tubes collection, and we are gonna crank the saturation up until it starts to peak, and then we will pull it back until we have the desired sound. The killer of kings. On the day of your death we will drink and we'll sing. We're the children of Skyrim and we fight all our life. Now let's take a listen to this in the mix with and without the saturation. The killer of kings. On the day of your death we will drink and we'll sing. The killer of kings. On the day of your death we will drink and we'll sing. Number 2, use several compressors on the same vocal track. After my original compression and EQ, I will now add the FG2A opto compressor on top. Now this one sounds really nice as an endpoint because it packs everything so well together. This will also make it easier to sit in the mix, while at the same time creating a sort of unique sound of your vocals by blending these compressors together. So let's add that compression in right now and see how it sounds. The killer of kings. On the day of your death we will drink and we'll sing. We're the children of Skyrim and we fight. If you feel the compression effect becomes too overwhelming, you can dial back the mix button to blend the two signals together to get the sound that you like. On the day of your death we will drink and we'll sing. We're the children of Skyrim and we fight all our lives. Now let's see how that sounds in a mix. The killer of kings. On the day of your death we will drink and we'll sing. Number 3. Filter away low end and mud with a parametric EQ. Now this is a pretty basic tip, but I feel like in metal it's even more important to keep your tracks tidy. Metal is noisy, there's distorted guitars, there's loud drums, distorted bass and everything, and you want as much space as possible. Now I'm gonna load up one of my favorite EQs, the Infinity EQ. Now this one is also included in the All Access Pass and is super easy and intuitive to use. So we are going to start by filtering away the low end of my vocal track. The killer of kings. On the day of your death we will drink and we'll sing. After this we will find the area around 250 Hz where my vocals sound a little roomy and has this nasty boomy sound, and tame that one down. The killer of kings. On the day of your death we will drink and we'll sing. We're the children of Skyrim and we fight all our lives. And when Southern God beckons, every one of us dies. Now how much you need to remove depends on your vocalist and your microphone of choice. Number 4. Distortion on growl vocals. Now this is a really simple trick to pull off, and it will make your growls sound a lot more angry and you have a lot more bite to them. The growls on this song are mixed pretty much the same as my main vocal. The main difference being is that I'm using the FG269 microphone model for my ML-1. Now let's just hear how the growls sound in the mix. So since we have a dub track for this scream, I will actually add the kilohertz distortion plugin only to the dub track. The reason I do this is that I don't have to use the mix button to blend in the distortion on all the vocal tracks. I can just use the dub track and kind of enhance my main vocal track. For this trick, you can use whatever type of distortion you would like and what you think sounds cool. And in the kilohertz distortion, you have several options. I'm gonna stick to the overdrive, and I'm gonna crank the drive until I think it sounds cool. I'm also gonna crank the dynamics button here to make it even more in your face. And lastly, I will add some spread to the distortion. This makes the distortion have a little bit of a stereo effect. Lastly, if you feel the distortion is a little bit too much, even though we are gonna blend it in with the main track, you can turn down the mix dial here to make it sound more even. Now let's see how that sounds in the mix, with and without the distortion. Number 5, controlling your reverb before it controls you. Because, let's be honest, a lot of people just slap the reverb on top of the vocal, turn down the mix dial to where it sounds nice, and leave it at that. For the reverb on this one, I'm using the Verb Suite Classics, and I'm using the CLA Plate ML-1 preset. Now let's just see how that sounds. The killer of kings, on the day of your death we will drink and we'll sing. Now, in order to make this reverb match the song and sit well in the mix, we need to make it bigger. Fortunately for us, in Verb Suite Classics, this is really easy to do. The killer of kings, on the day of your death we will drink and we'll sing. We're the children of Skyrim and we fight all our lives, and when Southern God beckons, every one of us dies. The killer of kings, on the day of your death we will drink and we'll sing. We're the In the Verb Suite Classics, you also have these small EQ knobs right here to adjust the sound of the reverb. However, I want to cut away a lot of the low end and some of the high end as well to make the reverb sound a little deeper, and again to not add too much to the mix that is not needed. So I'm going to bring up the Infinity EQ again, and I'm going to filter away the unnecessary low end, and then I'm going to filter away the high end up to approximately 10K. This makes the reverb sound a little less bouncy on the S and T sounds, and it will make it sound a little bit more deeper. The killer of kings, on the day of your death we will drink and we'll sing. We're the children of Skyrim and we fight all our lives, and when Southern God beckons, every one of us dies. The killer of kings, on the day of your death we will drink and we'll sing. And lastly, here's a quick extra tip for you guys who are considering getting an ML-1 microphone or already own one. So here we have the harmonies for the chorus. Now they are mixed exactly the same as the main vocal. Let's see how that sounds. The killer of kings, on the day of your death we will drink and we'll sing. Now that totally works, that sounds great. However, we can make it sound even more interesting by just changing the mic models on the harmonies. Check this out. The killer of kings, on the day of your death we will drink and we'll sing. So that was the 5 metal vocal mixing tips I had for you guys today. I hope you found them helpful. Leave a comment below on what you think, and I'll be down there talking with you guys. And as I said, I used the ML-1 microphone to record this cover. You can basically emulate a treasure trove of vintage tube mics, and trust me, it is as awesome as it sounds. I actually did a detailed video on the ML-1 last year, so be sure to check that one out. I will have a link somewhere on the screen here. The microphone is actually on sale right now, so if you ever thought about upgrading your setup, there hasn't been a better time. And I highly recommend you check this system out, because most of us can't just buy a 3000 tube mic on a whim, right? But with this one, you will have all of that by the click of a button. And make no mistake, guys, even though this video is sponsored by Slate Digital, the All Access Pass plugins you see me use here in this video makes up for over 80% of my mixes all the time. Ever since 2017, I've been preaching about this. So if you're interested in checking those out, I will have a link down below where you can sign up, and you will also support the channel in the process, not in the progress. And that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, you know what to do. You can leave a like on the video, and you can subscribe if you want to be notified when I release more content like this, or of course my metal covers. You know the drill by now. And a huge thanks, of course, to Slate Digital themselves for making these amazing tools I've been using for so many years now, and for supporting my channel. Until the next video, guys, I will see you later. Bye.